We're off to, what's it called? The Flight Museum, I think it's called. Southwest Airlines Flight Museum or Aviation Museum. And this big guy's gonna go sit on an airplane, huh, bud? Jack, can you say airplane? Airplane. Airplane. Woo! So after all the ice melted this week, we took Jack to the Frontier Flight Aviation Museum at Love Field Airfield. So it's a flight museum with just a ton of real life airplanes, just in the in an old, what I think is an old hangar, and it's got the history of Southwest Airlines in there. So it's at Dallas Love Field Airfield, which is where Southwest hub is, and basically what they've done in there is like one half you walk in and there's like old, like the replica of the first airplane that the Wright brothers built in Kitty Hawk, and they've got old Navy and Army bombers and stuff like that. So you walk into one side.
She said, Jess, did you hear that? There's a bird outside. I think it's a mourning dove. I said, I think you're right.
It's not just airplanes, so they've also got replicas and displays about like hot air balloons and stuff like that. So it's super cool. Jack had a blast. He ran in and just started booking it all over the place, looking at all the airplanes. Jack is really into planes right now. Like, we're on walks and he's pointing to the sky, like trying to count all the airplanes he can find. It's amazing what the kid can see so far away, because he'll find something way before me and Em will. One of my favorite parts was seeing just the different, kind of like how it's progressed from World War I to World War II, and then just kind of seeing where things started. They had one display that was like the Wright brothers, like their, what's it called? Their workstation, right? So like what their, like where they were building the first plane, what it looked like in there and stuff. So that was super cool. Jack had a blast just running around. We couldn't stop him anywhere else. He really went over, like they had some that were on the ground so he could like actually touch them. I don't know if he was supposed to, but he was playing with them and stuff. And then they had a bunch just hanging off of the ceiling, and he loved just kind of running around and finding them.
Hey, Harold. I feel so weightless and safe from harm. I come out of here, can touch us here. Yeah. You know that I believe in you, my dear. Said, Meg, did you hear that? I think it's starting to rain. It feels like summer's closing its tired eyes again. The winter's clawing at the heels of fall. But in this moment, we're above it all. Like no amount of sadness can sweep us away. And no amount of madness touch us today. She said, Jess, could you hear that? What was that sound? I said, it's a foghorn from the docks on the edge of town. I said, the ports get foggy this time of year.
What'd you find, bud?
It's just something you get
Hi, airplane.
living around here.
They've got displays about kind of the Mars trips and stuff like that, the Mars missions, missions to the moon and stuff. They've also got different sections about different world wars and like what the planes and stuff looked like back then and how they've grown as technology's advanced over time.
I feel so boring, like everybody else.
But then you go to the other side of the building, and they had just the history of Southwest Airlines. So they actually had ends of 2 planes. So they had one, it looked like basically the whole plane. It was a smaller one, but you could like look into the cockpit. You couldn't go in there, and then you go all the way back, and they had I think his name was Herb Keller, if I remember correctly. They had his history and stuff because he was the CEO of Southwest Airlines and starting it and stuff. They had some seats on there that you could still sit in from that original plane, and like even like the shades for the windows still work. So Jack was playing with those. There was a bunch of kids in there. So many kids out at this place. On that side, they also had the cockpit of another part of the plane.
Here, bud. Nice job, buddy. Jack, can you say hi? Hi.
They also had one of the cool displays they had that Emily loved to see was like how you used to how you used to buy your tickets at the airport. It was like, okay, do you want to fly at morning or night? Do you want to go to this? They had like 8 cities. Like you press a button. Pittsburgh, New York City, LA, Seattle, and Denver. Pick one, morning or night. And do you want to pay like cash? Like, I don't know, stuff like that. It was like basically 4 sections, and you chose one out of each of them and you paid at the end. So you basically wouldn't buy your ticket until day of that you were flying. And it's amazing to think like, okay, now we can go on like Google Flights and just plan an entire trip months in advance. Whereas before, like, 60 years ago, you'd go to the airport the day of and buy your ticket then. So that was pretty interesting. Emily loved that part. They also had the check-in desks and stuff that they've had in the past with Southwest Airlines and stuff like that. So that was cool to watch.
Say hi, Jack.
On that side, they had a play space that the kids could climb in, just with like toy tree, like jungle trees and stuff like that, different airplanes and stuff. So that was super cool. They also had a gift shop at the end that we stopped into that had kind of toy airplanes from all these different airlines and stuff. They had Blue Angel replicas in there and spaceship replicas. So that was pretty cool. We didn't get any for Jack this time. He was just a little too small for those. But hopefully in the future, the kid loves planes now, so we'll definitely be back. Me and Emily actually went to this museum back in 2020 when I was here on internship. I think one of her flights got delayed and we were already down at Love Field, so we looked it up and there was a Groupon for it, so we went to that. And it was so cool back then, even for us. We loved it. So we definitely knew that once we moved here, we would take Jack. And the fact that he's loving airplanes right now just made it so much, like it was a obvious choice for us to do this weekend once the weather warmed up.
Jack. Turn around, bud. You gotta turn around.
One of my favorite parts was the Blue Angel plane they had in there. We used to watch them every year in Seattle, so that was a lot of fun to see that right up close and personal like that. So we will definitely be back to the Frontiers of Flight Museum at some point this year. Jack loved it this time, so we're going to take him back as often as we can. And it was super cheap. I think it was $12 a person, and kids are free, so it's an easy thing to do, especially once it gets hotter in the summer here. And Jack loved it. Yeah, but we'll definitely be back. Thanks for watching again. Hi, bud. Cars. Yeah, you want to come here? You want to say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Nose kisses? Nose kisses. Love you, bud.